Hello there, it's Karen, and I'm going to show you something very special, which is an assessment tool. Voila! This, would you believe it, is an assessment tool. Now, I call it a toolkit, but I'm just going to show you what goes in an assessment tool. Okay, so when you hear the word assessment tool, I hope you'll picture this little toolkit. Okay, so let's look inside the toolkit. Inside the toolkit, we see an assessment map or matrix. So that's inside the assessment tool. Okay. We also see this magnifying glass. This indicates we have to examine, unpack, and deconstruct what we find in the units of competency that we're working with on our assessment tool, so that when we prepare items and instruments, they are tailor-made for our audience. So this stands for contextualization. Okay, looking, downloading, investigating, and contextualizing. So contextualizing belongs in the tool. We also see an assessment plan. An assessment plan is in the tool. So far we've got contextualizing, an assessment map or matrix, an assessment plan. We've also got here, this box here is a lovely little parcel of policies, procedures, all sorts of bits and pieces. So I've got here an assessor guide, policies and procedures. All of that is in a little collection of items which are about policies, procedures, refunds, assessment appeals, and so on. All in there. That's part of the assessment tool. Now, we also find an assessment instrument. So this assessment instrument, just seeing whether that is showing up on the screen or not, this assessment instrument lives inside the assessment tool. And there's also another instrument. So in this tool, there's two assessment instruments. There could be 3, there could be 4, there could be 5, there could be 6. But usually there's a couple, 2 or 3. These assessment instruments are just one part of the whole toolkit. They sit inside the toolkit along with many other things. And inside the assessment instrument, we find assessment instructions, and we find, that's here, assessment instructions, and we find assessment activities, and these are things like role plays, performance, answering questions. And of course, we make sure that our assessment instruments are nice and flexible. So we might imagine that this assessment instrument contains a set of questions. So inside there's a set of questions, and there's also a set of answers for the marking guide that goes with that instrument. So I'll pop that in. We also have another instrument. So in this case, we've got possibly a different assessment instrument details and instructions. Again, some flexibility because we have to follow our evidence rules and assessment principles, which include flexibility and fairness. And in this one, it might be perhaps that the assessment instrument is capturing up evidence of performance. So that assessment instrument might be a checklist. Okay, so in this particular tool, the instruments we've got is a set of questions, and we've also got some checklists for performance. So that's 2 different assessment methods, and each method has an instrument inside. We've also got the policies and procedures, details and administrative items in relation to just being assessed at this particular registered training organisation. We've got the plan, we've got an assessment matrix, We've remembered to contextualize for our audience. And the very last thing that we have inside here is a little bit of magic. And that little bit of magic gets sprinkled over the whole lot so that it's all put together and makes up a lovely assessment tool. So I really want you to remember that when you say tool, you mean container. And inside that container are quite a few things, including assessment instruments. Okay, that's the end of story time for today.